Welcome to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson. Um, I'm going to do a little something over some of the top picks at the different positions. I'm going to start off with running backs. Uh, kind of agree with some of like the top five and a sleeper that I feel that needs to be talked about for the people for the top running backs coming out in this class. Uh, I got Leonard Fournette, obviously number one. Um, as I said, the kid has it all as far as I'm concerned. He has the size, he has the speed. People is they already kind of compared him to like Bo Jackson type style, but it's like he's far more physical than Bo Jackson, a little bit bigger than Bo Jackson. He has, I'm not gonna say that same type of speed, but hey, I mean he can burn. He gets out in the open and that's it. A lot of people talk about he possibly can't catch the ball. That's beside the point. In this day and age, right now, with all of the throwing going on, it's fine to have that type of player, but it's nice to have that player that can move the chains and that can move the chain and can milk the clock. That's one of the main things about him. The only thing I worry about him is sometimes little injuries here and there. He was slow about ankle injury this year and everything, but he finished with over 843 yards. I think 8 touchdowns that he had. Also, but he made his bones basically in his sophomore season when he rushed for 1,953 yards and 22 touchdowns. I was like, he's a I say he hits the hole fast and he goes downhill very quickly. He excels. He can just run away from defensive backs and run over defensive backs. Like it's not a lot of play time with him. He gets the ball, hits the hole, no hesitation, and he's gone. And he's a back that's needed. Now this is this the thing I like about this class is that this is running backs and say running backs are needed. If we didn't learn anything else, we learned in the Super Bowl this past couple of months ago. If just running the ball, milking the clock, there's no way New England wins that game. But because everybody wants to throw the ball 45, 50 times a game, even when you're on the 5 yard line that we've seen a couple of Super Bowls ago, these are the types of things that happen. Back in the past, like I've said several times in the different broadcasts that I had, I come from an era where you look back and we had great running teams like the Dallas Cowboys or even going back to the Steelers and all the different teams of that era, a time or even in the 90s and whatnot. Great running teams. They would run the ball. You get down there, the ball was going to be ran. And it's milks the clock. One of the other people that I like also coming to draft, Alvin Cook. He kind of reminds you he could run between tackles. He kind of reminds me of a Thurman Thomas. They can do it all. Catch the ball out the backfield, catch the ball out the backfield, can run between the tackles, run outside, take it, home run hitter, has the speed and everything like that. He can go get it. Uh, it's not a bad choice really between him, you know, either either one. It's not a bad look at all as far as when it comes to him. He's like I say, Florida State. He rushed for 1,765 yards and had 488 receiving yards. Almost 500. He was third on his team and a total of 20 touchdowns. I'm like, the only thing that's messing around with him right now is off the field issues that he's had a couple of run-ins with the law earlier in his career, and that's the only thing that probably is going to make some people shy away. But I still got him going in the first round. He's probably the most complete back that probably one of the most complete backs that you probably say that's coming down up in the draft, and he can pretty much he definitely can do it all. He definitely can do it all. You also have Joe Mixon, another kid off the field issues at Oklahoma. Um, he's 1,274 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns, 37 receptions for 538 yards. That's 14.5 per catch. So as a running back, I mean, like I said, this kid, he can get it. I'm like, he has all of that. His workouts has been very good, and he can, like I said, he's a nice hell of a back, named first team All Big 12. So, and he also shared some time basically with another running back that's coming out, Samaje Perine, who basically made his bones in 2014, his freshman season. And one of the games where he actually rushed for 427 yards versus Kansas back in his freshman season. He rushed for 17-13, then 15-13, and then 2015, 13, 49, and then a few injuries, nagging injuries over the past couple years, but definitely this past in 2016, 1,060 yards and everything. He reminds me of a Ricky Williams, not with that explosiveness, but the body type, the 5'10", about 235 pounds, 230, 235 pounds. Got some speed, not quite the breakaway speed as a Ricky Williams, but he has that kind of thing. He can be somebody that definitely that can, like I said, can milk. It's about milking that clock. If you got a lead, you should be able to sit up there and milk the clock. That's to me, that's what it's all about nowadays, is keeping the ball away from these quarterbacks that some of the quarterbacks that are good or that's throwing the ball 40, 45 times a game. You can keep the ball away from milk the clock. You know what I'm saying? It's not about trying to every pass and every down. Running backs need this I think this past year in 2016, we learned anything from the Dallas Cowboys and other different teams, and even over there in Arizona with the back over there, I think the kid David Johnson and whatnot. And then you got the Le'Veon Bell over there at Pittsburgh. I say these running backs are they're saying, hey, making notice, because running backs just seem like they've just been put on the shelf. And nobody went, oh, we don't really need running backs. We're just going to throw the ball 40 some odd times a game. These backs make all the difference in the world and everything. And I just need to get back to that, so we don't have to be trying to always throw the ball on the 5 yard line and whatnot. So, and then, this guy, I think he's finishes OU's all-time leading rusher with 4,122 yards. So he had a great career, just leaving out after his junior season. Now the next one is going to always be a little bit controversial. It's Christian McCaffrey. The kid can he can he in his, I think it's his sophomore year, I believe, 2000 in 2015, he's All American. He rushed for over 2,000 yards. He broke Barry Sanders' total yards by offensive player. He's a hell of a kick returner, punt returner, and everything. He has all the bells and whistles that you look for, all the stats and stuff that you look for when you're talking about all the accolades that he got. He has the pedigree. His father played, was a receiver, Ed McCaffrey, uh, and all that. But at the end of the day, I don't see him being a running back. I see him. He's another kind of remind you of a Reggie Bush. These guys look, 5'10", 199, 5'10", 200 pounds, 205. Sometimes he even tries to say, oh, he's like a Barry Sanders type. I'm like, you you can't even compare him to that. The best you can do is probably a little yards thing, but that's it. From the waist down, Barry Sanders had nice sized legs and everything. This kid does not have the quite wiggle that Barry Sanders had, and I don't see this kid running in between tackles and getting the ball 20, 25 times a game. I don't see that happening. That's not the way that this kid is built. I just don't see that. I don't see him doing it. I see him being a slot receiver, being used to kick and punt return. And I'm not saying he can't be successful. I just don't see him being a running back and you get a ball and milk the clock with him. I don't see that. And he can prove me wrong. That's fine. But I haven't seen, that's not him. Last running back that they had come out, Toby Gerhart. Haven't heard anything about him. Nice size back he was, but again, I just don't see that happening. Slot receiver like a Julian Edelman or Amendola or guys like that, or even possibly something like a David Woodhead, he could probably be used as. But I just don't see him being that a running back in that thing. He could just be a slot receiver and could use him back there, do some disguising and different things like that. But I don't see that. My sleeper pick that seems like nobody wants to talk about is Deontay Foreman of the University of Texas Longhorns. This kid had an outstanding junior year, played in 10 games, rushed for 2,028 yards. He had like 15 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Texas had a down year, again, but he was one of the bright spots, All-American first team, All Big 12. He actually almost outrushed Piran in the Big 12, Piran as well as Mixon. You take their combined yards up to his. It's like if you look at it, you'll see that basically they combined for 2,334 yards, and Deontay Foreman did 2,028 yards. So you're talking about, so for him not to be even really be mentioned, he's like my sleeper. For him not to be mentioned in this, and he was second in the nation behind, second in the nation behind the kid from out of San Diego State who ended up being the leading rusher because he played another game more than I think than Foreman did because he went to a bowl game. Uh, he's not as if he's not even mentioned. I say he's a big back. He's about 6'2", about 235, 240. He doesn't quite have the speed as somebody like Fournette, but he kind of reminds you of Jacobs back in the day with the Giants. But I think this kid has, he has some nice speed. He has some nice power. I think he's down to like 230. I think he played around 245. I think he's down to like around 230 pounds now and everything. And the kid can be that. I think he's my sleeper back for this year. He's definitely my sleeper back. I see him doing some big things. Maybe not going in the first round, probably in the second round. But whoever gets him and they build a line around this kid can do something. He can be that back line in the backfield back there and be a productive and probably have a couple of 1,200-yard seasons and stuff. He runs hard. He's extremely physical, and he has some nice wheels. Not the Fournette wheels, but he does have some wheels for a man his size. And those are the guys that I think that like I said, I can agree with some of the stuff. I just don't, like I said, he's my sleeper pick. And out of them, I see all those guys running and getting the ball running. I don't see that with McCaffrey being that particular type of back. Maybe a utility back, slot, like I say, slot receiver, possibly playing slot receiver and everything like that. They might line him up in the back a little bit, but I don't see that happening that much. I just see him being a wide receiver, and they probably going to just take him just because of his career at uh, at Stanford and what he did, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that. I just don't see him being that back. And all the other four, the other backs that I name, I see them being contributing early and being that. And like I say, but that's my look. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Cook is going to do in Deontay Foreman, kind of see what everybody else is going to do. But definitely Cook, I just see him possibly being another Thurman Thomas, probably even a little bit better. I want to thank you for checking me out. Check me out. You get an opportunity. Subscribe to my page, Everything Football 62 YouTube page. Subscribe. Check out the videos, and you can also go to Twitter, Everything Football 62, Unctutman 62, and follow me there. And check me out and everything. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.